It was actually pretty interesting to try to put these parts into the kit. It's almost like it's a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle, slotting each part in place. But, you do have this full instruction manual kind of here, legend, I guess you could say, which will show you each part and their corresponding number. And then this will also help you walk through the assembly steps. Hi everybody, welcome back to Classic Firearms. I'm Matt, and we've got a really special guest with us today. Brandon, how's it going, man?
Good, sir.
Why don't you tell us where you're from, what we're doing here today?
Gotcha. So I wanted to show you a product that I invented. I'm actually from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I do competitive shooting. And so during the shutdown, you couldn't buy a whole gun. You had to piece it together. And I helped a ton of friends, customers, neighbors put one together because you had to find the parts.
Right.
And I struggled with some of the mats. I struggled with some of the other parts that were out there because it was like a giant tackle box.
Yeah.
It fit perfectly. Meant nothing. It wasn't labeled. I didn't have the steps. I was watching YouTube videos of some guy in his basement misidentifying parts, and I'm like, that doesn't even sound right.
So it's like organization without meaning.
Correct. And then there's like blue backgrounds. I'm like, this is a struggle. And I kept helping people. I'm like, I'm going to do something about it. And so I made a foam template originally, and I put all the parts into it. I started organizing it. I started labeling them because even some of the mats, they're in ABC order. A bolt catch and a bolt carrier group have nothing to do with each other of how you actually assemble a gun.
Right, right.
So I worked on that. It took me months. I worked with videographers. I worked with animators so that I could make both a live action video and an animated video to walk you through steps 1 through 31 to go from a strip lower receiver to a functional lower.
Okay.
And now we're here today. I've had military endorsements, law enforcement endorsements, competitive shooting endorsements. I've helped over 500 people. And now we're in Classic Firearms today.
All right. Well, so building your own AR is certainly a special experience for those of you who are getting into the firearms industry, or maybe you've owned ARs, but you want to really kind of make your own custom, build. And you're right, like there's kind of a learning curve, and it can be pretty steep because let's look at it. Like this is the bag of parts that you're going to get. And I mean, to someone who's not experienced with identifying each one of these pins, detents, springs, it doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot when you see it like this, right? You don't just drop it in water, boil it, and out pops a gun, right?
Completely agree.
So, in this case, I really like it. So we called this the AR Builder Board. And so basically this will give you a way to organize the products, all the different parts, and then gives you kind of step-by-step instructions. Hey, this part goes with this part, and this is the order you're going to assemble it in. So I think that's fantastic because, a lot of people do enjoy the aspect of building their own firearm. And even if you've done it before, like you said, you can put down an armor's mat or something, but then the parts might still roll. It might be hard because you've got a black background and you can see that little spring. So yeah, I really enjoy the idea behind keeping something organized where everything's in place and you know exactly what everything is.
Thank you. I've been really happy with it. I've been really glad with some of the parents that buy it as a training tool, time of family activity to build ARs together. They want to anodize colors. And so I've been really impressed with what it's possible for what can do, even build classes for guys that want to buy a 20 pack and then they keep these on the table so that nothing rolls off.
Yeah, you got people moving around the classroom, somebody bumps a table, suddenly where'd that detent go, right? There's no worse feeling than losing a detent and having to order a whole nother parts kit. So guys, just on the table here, we have a little brief kind of coverage of the parts and tools you're going to need to put together an AR. Some of these things are kind of optional, so certainly we want to keep in mind that the average person might not have specialty tools, but I think what we can all pretty much find most of these things. I have a set of little needle nose pliers, a razor blade, a couple punches, and a hammer, the lower parts kit, as well as the kind of buffer assembly, the lower itself, and then as something not everyone will necessarily have, we have a vise block with a builder's block in here. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and examine a little further kind of what we need. All right, guys, with a little bit of movie magic, we've got all the parts put into their respective slots. And so this is where you would normally begin the assembly process. Unfortunately, this is the YouTube version of this video, so we're not going to be able to show the full assembly of the lower receiver, but we will have it put together for you and take it to the range as a demonstration. If you do want to see the full assembly, go check out our Rumble page because we're going to have the step-by-step instructions there. It was actually pretty interesting to try to put these parts into the kit. It's almost like it's a a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle, you know, slotting each part in place. But, you know, you do have this full instruction manual kind of here, legend, I guess you could say, which will show you each part and their corresponding number. And then this will also help you walk through the assembly steps. So yeah, you know, if you just want to kind of talk again about what's I guess the goal for the build is here, I mean, the tool is for your build.
Great. So once you've got your strip lower receiver, you've got your complete diagram, you've got your 1 through 31 steps. Inside the package is your QR codes for the website to see the private listed videos for a live action video that's 19 minutes, which is going to walk you through everything to go from the strip lower receiver to a functional lower. And then there's an animated video that I recommend starting with because it's a crash course on what the parts are, how they're going to go in. You can pause it as many times as you want. You can go back and forth. I tell you even in the video that if you spend 18 minutes on your trigger pins, you spent that much time on your trigger pins. So it's a great tool. Watch it back and forth. You can watch it with others, and then you dive into your first one, and then you'll be an expert.
There you go. I mean, couldn't ask for a better run through than 2 different videos that'll help step you through the process. We are going to go ahead and put this together, but again, you're going to have to go to Rumble to see that footage. But we will go ahead and skip straight to the complete lower and then take it out, test it out of the range.
Let's do it.
All right. And then we're done. Look at that. Fully assembled. All the parts that were on the board are now in the lower, and the stock's attached. You have a functioning lower.
What was a few of the tools we ended up using?
So we did use a few extra beside what we had at the beginning. So we had a armor's wrench. This is really the only kind of dedicated AR building tool that we used. Then we also needed to use either a screwdriver or bit driver set in order to attach the pistol grip. We did use some things to act as slave pins just to help with alignment, make things go a little bit smoother there.
Speed that up.
Yep. And then we talked about whether or not you should stake the castle nut on your gun. So we have a staking tool here. But again, you know, most of this is still stuff you would have at your house. This would be about the only thing you'd have to go out and buy specifically. Most of us have a little hammer, bit driver, screwdrivers, you know, small Allen wrenches you could use for alignment purposes.
And like you said, this is multi-cal compatible. So what are some of the calibers that would be useful?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the cool thing about the AR lower is that you can shoot almost every caliber the ARs are available in with the same lower. So whether that be 5.56, 7.62 by 39, 300 blackout, 300 hammer, you know, 458 SOCOM, and even with minor changes, things like 9mm, 40, 45, even like they have 50 BMG single shot uppers that just use this mostly just for the trigger, but it'll bolt onto this thing and you can take it out of the range.
Or if you want to do a dedicated 22 with one of your kids, this is a great way to do it and do it together.
There you go. That would make a great project, and then you can start teaching the fundamentals of firearm use. So I think that in order to show how versatile the AR-15 lower is, we should go ahead, head out to the range, slap a few different uppers on it, and see how well we did.
Let's do it.
See how well I did. All right, Brandon and I got out here to the range to demonstrate the versatility of the AR-15 lower that we assembled with the builder board back at the warehouse. We're going to do that with a couple different uppers here. We have different calibers, 5.56, 7.60 by 39, and 9mm, and how you can swap between these kind of calibers with little to no alteration to the lower itself. Just, it's kind of amazing. All we're going to have to use is a magazine block when we get to the 9mm.
I like the capability of it, and that's why it's compatible. AR-9, AR-45, you've got a lot of options, guys.
Yeah, and you know, the builder board again makes this really easy to put together. In fact, you know, you have hunting options, plinking options, all kind of things that you can do once you've assembled your lower. But I think that's enough talk. Let's get down range, get ready to shoot. All right, Brandon, I did most of the assembly. You feel comfortable taking the first shot, or?
I would love to, but you did all the pin work and hammered it in, so I want you to shoot, boss.
All right, well, we got our upper mounted. We got a loaded magazine in here. Let's take our first shots here.
Flawless.
Good, you know, basically minimal lubrication. So, hey, here you go. Why don't you grab that?
We did something right.
Have another one for you.
So having a functional AR is very important because sometimes if you put this together wrong and it's not functional, it can cause injury.
Absolutely.
It's kind of endless.
Certainly, you know, again, all due care to be taken when putting together a firearm.
But, and you don't want a bolt action.
True too.
Barrel's already hot. There we go. That feels natural.
All right, so I mean, we could definitely say that 5.56 was functional.
There's a party over here. Can
Hey,
I try
guy,
it?
how you
How's it going,
doing?
Brandon? Good seeing you.
Did you bring a mag?
I did.
Yeah, you got a BYOB, man.
Try
BYOM.
this one too, guys. Come on, come on. There's a party over and I wasn't invited. Come on, man. Ooh, that looks good. Good to go, man. All right.
Kyle, thanks for joining us at the range, man. I was surprised to see you. I think.
Well, I'm out of here.
I think Brandon probably outshot
man.
both of us, though.
Thank you.
I think I heard more steel ring with me, but it's
Yeah.
not a competition.
Yeah, everything does have to. Tell you what, though, we're going to go ahead and switch out this to the 7.62x39 upper, and we'll give that a shot. All right, guys, we've got the new 7.62x39 upper mounted, got the right magazine. Otherwise, no alteration made to the lower receiver. We're going to go ahead and give this a try in a new caliber. All right, locked open like it should.
Perfect.
Let's go ahead and hand it off.
Round two.
All right. So, you know, this is the same sight we had on the 5.56. We didn't readjust the sight or anything, so it might not be perfectly on, but I tell you what, you were
Hey
still
guys,
tearing
how's it
up.
going?
You trying to save the day, Kai?
Yep, I just want to fire
This
about
guy.
5 rounds just to see how this feels. Because you guys are having too much fun here.
Deal.
There you go, let's see it. All right. That's it.
All right,
She's
just
pretty
the
good.
taste, just the taste. All right.
I gotta go get my wife, man. She's waiting for me. See you guys later.
Kyle's not married, everybody. All right, so 7.60x39, a success. Let's try one more caliber.
Let's do the 9.
All right, guys, for something a little bit different, we've put a 9mm upper on here, and we've paired that with a Sylvan Arms magazine conversion block that will allow this to take 9mm Glock magazines. So can your AR take Glock mags? Yes, it can. 9mm is a great option because it is low recoiling, and we're gonna go ahead and test it out. You ready, Brendan?
You're up.
Awesome. All right, so that's really a lot of fun. Brandon, you want to take over, finish this out?
Definitely. I really like being able to train people with the 9mm with such a low recoil. There's also certain ranges that don't allow rifle calibers, so you can bring a 9mm out.
All right, I'm sorry, it looks like I did leave you a whole lot there, but again, just to show how much fun you can have by building your own AR-15 lower. You know, we just showed you can convert 3 different calibers as easy as changing the upper. They have 22 long rifle conversion kits that just replace the bolt carrier inside. Just so many different iterations, but it all starts by you picking up one of the builder boards and putting that lower together for the first time.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, Brandon, we appreciate you having you out here, man. Y'all, thanks for coming down to Classic Firearms.